Because we don't need no wild boys out here. No wild boys.
I literally wrote on my list of like things I want in a husband. And I wrote that he would appreciate my culture and my background, and you did. I'm nervous now. No, I was not nervous.
You weren't nervous.
Mama was ready.
Mama was ready?
Mama was like, wow.
That's crazy. You can't say that.
I can't. My husband just spilled on his shirt. This is personal.
This is very personal.
And we are choosing to let you guys in on this. What is up, happy and healthy? Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Janine Amapola Ward, and I'm here with my husband, Kaleb Ward.
What number of podcast is this with both of us?
It has to be like 20.
20?
I don't know.
I bet it's more like 12 or 13.
Either way, we have a blast here. So welcome back, guys. If you are listening on a Tuesday, I hope your Tuesday is going amazing. We decided we wanted to do a podcast together because it's been 3 weeks since we've just sat down and shot the shishi.
It's been a while. I feel like when we were dating, we would talk about our relationship, what was going on, kind of catch people up. We're shooting the sheesh.
We haven't shot the shishi.
It's been a while since we've sat down and just kind of had a conversation. We're going to answer some questions, talk about what's going on in our life.
Yeah.
This is just kind of like, this is therapy for us this next couple hours. So I'm excited.
Yeah. This is just going to be y'all hanging out with us. If you don't know who we are Janine and Kaleb. We are Christians. We have a podcast, or I have a podcast. My husband comes on it a lot. I'm a Christian influencer. I speak, I write. I just wrote a book, Becoming Happy and Healthy, and I post every single Tuesday on here. So we talk about Christianity, we talk about world events, we talk about things that are just, my husband just spilled on his shirt. Anyway, so we just want to hang out with you guys. We want you guys to know who we are. We want to know who you are. So we do have some fun things coming. I have some merch coming. I have some book giveaways coming on my Instagram. And someone did ask us about a live podcast tour.
Do you think that's going to stain?
No.
Okay.
I don't. But let's get into it, you guys.
Let's go.
Hang out with us and get yourself a cup of coffee or an energy drink.
Grab your coffee, grab your drink.
Yeah.
Before you sit down, I don't care if you're in the car. This is our protocol.
Yes.
Okay. A podcast is more enjoyable.
Grab your girl, grab your man.
Cold beverage. This is also an episode you can bring your mans into. Have a date night. Listen to the pod,
which is fun. A lot of you guys sit with your boyfriends or husbands, and they are forced to listen to the podcast now too. So thank you.
And if you are single, why don't you holler at some guy that you're interested in and say, you trying to podcast and hang out?
Hey, you have single guy friends.
It's supervision, because we don't need no wild boys out here. No wild boys.
The lonely boys? Who are the Montana boys? Is that who they are? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Irrelevant. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, we asked you guys to ask us questions on our account, Janine and Kaleb, and boy, did y'all ask.
All right, guys, we have a huge announcement.
We do?
A massive announcement.
What is it?
Guys, okay, we were deciding for a while whether we were going to move or not. That was one of the first questions.
Oh, that's the tea.
Yeah. And so if you join our Patreon, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but we're finally we're going to start talking about now. Guys, we are not moving. We almost moved to Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, we were close.
Yeah, y'all.
We were so close.
We obviously kept it on the DL because we weren't, going to announce anything ahead of time if we didn't know for sure. We went, we looked at houses. We were like, should we not? We prayed through this.
We were at 90% sure.
I mean, y'all, we were sold.
We saw like 14 houses. Like we were there.
And we were like, let's go scoop it out. Scoop it out? Scout it out.
Suss it out.
Scout it out.
Suss it out.
Okay, whatever. And we got home, and when you guys saw my podcast about waiting on God's timing, it was about that, okay? I'm exposing myself.
Moving is like dating. Really, that's it. What do you
mean?
Moving, because when you're moving, you gotta like, if the heart's not about it, if you don't feel that, like just that chemistry. I did not feel the chemistry, with Tennessee in the same way that I felt with you. Like I felt this like love for you on our first date. Aww. And when I was in Tennessee, I was like, I need that feeling, man, and I didn't have it.
And I think with moving, I talk about this in decision making and all the things in my book. Like God's going to give you clarity. He's going to show you. He's going to lead you. Here's what I'm saying.
Or not.
No, he will. He'll show you. He gave us clarity that we didn't want to move.
Well, there. I would say he gave us clarity by not by not giving us anything.
Well, no,
so we were just confused.
But exactly, because we were so confused. We were like, God wouldn't have us move here if we don't love it and we're confused. Yeah. Here's what I want to be careful of, though. I don't want to say never. We're not bashing the city. We just didn't feel peace at that time. Mm-hmm. So I'm saying never say never, because I don't want, like, what if we did move there one day? And then they were like, wait, y'all just freaking hated on it. I'm not hating on Nashville. I actually really liked it. I still think it's a gorgeous city, but I think just for now we were like, let's just table that.
Well, I feel like Dallas isn't finished yet.
It's not finished. And we have so many amazing people here.
Yeah. You know, deciding not to move, it felt like we had to we were sending breakup text messages to our friends who wanted us to move.
Oh.
You know how many text messages I'm avoiding right now with some of my friends in Tennessee?
Really?
You know, because if you guys watch us on Instagram, you know that we just got turf and a little putting green in our backyard. And so all our friends in Tennessee are like, why are you putting a putting green in if you're about to move?
And we were like, I hate to break it to you.
That was our first decision when we decided not to move, was to turf our backyard.
Yeah. There's definitely more to it. And if you subscribe to our Patreon, we can get fully into that more. We'll probably have another catch-up episode on there. But we ultimately just decided, hey, now is not the time. We're very content in Dallas. We love Dallas. And we decided to invest back into this home. And so we redid our backyard and we're loving our house now. I decided to clean everything. You know what you reminded me of, babe? What? Remember how you were like, no, you don't just need a new house. You don't just need a new boyfriend. You don't need a new whatever.
No, you don't need a new car.
A new car. That's what it was.
New boyfriend.
New boyfriend. Oopsie.
Clean them out.
Don't break up with your boyfriend after this. You were like, you just need to clean it out. And that's what we did.
Guys, if you want a new car or you're about to get that car payment you shouldn't get, detail your car. It feel like a new car. So when we got back to Dallas, we were like, let's fix this house up. Let's clean it. And now it feels like a new house. And
that's true.
And doing this was so much cheaper than going and buying a new house. Those interest rates out there?
For sure. Yeah, y'all, we're not, new houses are psycho right now. Yeah. So we're just going to stay put. We are very thankful. And that's just a quick little life update, but that's what the tea was about. The next thing is we've been married for 7 months as of yesterday. High five.
A long time.
7 months.
7 months.
You know what?
Love.
7 in the Bible is the number of completion. So I think we completed the trials. And now it's just smooth sailing from here. 0 problems, sir.
Guys, marriage is the best. And I have a bone to pick with the marriage is hard people. Because marriage is hard. But when we sit here and we just act like it's the worst thing ever, we're kind of lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. There's hard parts, but I'm tired of constantly, I feel like every Christian podcaster or anybody who has an influence always talks about how hard marriage is. And it's true. I agree. It is difficult at times, but we need to talk more about how amazing it is.
It's amazing.
I think what we do.
If you're the right person.
You know what I think it is? I think you have a lot of people who want to talk about how hard marriage is so they can help single people feel better. And it's I'm not trying to make single people feel bad. I don't want people to walk into marriage being scared. And you listen to people talk about how hard it is. You will almost manifest that in your marriage in a way. And I don't believe in manifesting, but I'm saying that you will, if you say something, marriage is going to be hard, and you go into it with that mindset, it's going to happen. But if you go into it going, this is a gift, this is going to be amazing, it's going to be awesome.
Well, I think people are trying to set healthy expectations for singles so that they don't have this false idea. They get in, they're like, it's going to be butterflies and rainbows. And then all of a sudden, real life hits. And then you're like, whoa. So I think the two can coexist. I do think that people need to have healthy expectations because it's not going to solve all your problems. But I also think it can be. It solved a lot of mine. What do you mean? Stop that. This is a Christian podcast.
This is biblical.
It is true. You're so annoying. Anyway, we're not going to ramble too long on this, but marriage is fun. It is learning. It is sanctifying. It is purifying. But it's fun. It's fun having a project with you. And we did our backyard. We got to do that together.
I thought you were saying I was a project.
That too. No, I'm just kidding. No, you weren't. Shout out to Claritin for supporting this episode and providing us with samples. So if you guys are like me and when allergy season comes around, it is your worst nightmare. My nose is itchy, my throat is itchy, my eyes cannot stop watering. It is literally the worst. But luckily for those of us who live with the symptoms of allergies, we can live Claritin Clear with Claritin D. It's amazing and designed for serious allergy sufferers. Claritin D has 2 powerful ingredients in just one pill that relieves your allergy symptoms and decongest your nose so you can breathe better. This double action combination of prescription strength allergy medicine and the best decongestant available relieves sneezing, a runny nose, itchy and watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat and sinus congestion and pressures with ease. So if you guys are ready to live life as if you don't have allergies, it's time to live Claritin Clear. Trust me, you guys, I take it and I can just have a way better day. I can breathe better. Seriously, it's amazing. And it's fast and powerful relief. Ask for Claritin D at your local pharmacy counter. You don't even need a prescription. Go to Claritin.com right now for a discount so you can live Claritin Clear. Use as directed. Let's get into the questions. Let's go. Okay. The first question that someone asked me, I thought this was fun. Is Kaleb as interested in traveling abroad as you are? And when are you going to travel?
I am not in. No one is. No one is as interested in traveling as much as you. You would live at the airport. I've never seen someone so excited to wake up for a 4 a.m. flight.
Whoa, that's not true. Maybe give me like a 6 a.m.er.
No, the answer is yes and no. I'd love to travel, but no, I would be fine. I went to Florida every year as a kid. That was it. So I'm good. I'm good where I'm at, but I'm
sweet.
But I'm happy to travel with you and make experiences. But if I had the same travel bug as you, we would never
be home.
We would never be home, and nothing would ever get done.
I love traveling. It is instilled in me. My parents love traveling. My parents are both immigrants. I think that was just in them. They always traveled. They took us to new places domestically growing up because we couldn't afford 7 kids on international flights. Yep. A lot of road trips. I love it. And I do think you're into it, but I do think I like it a little bit more.
For sure.
But we are going to south of France on July 9th.
But I lived in Australia.
It's true.
I lived in New York City. I've moved to Texas. So I get around a little bit.
You get around? Gosh, I hope not.
that sounded a little weird.
I've been to 31 countries. I love traveling.
That's 31. That's older than me. That's more than
older than me.
That's true.
Okay, what's the next question, babe?
Okay. Let's see.
Unless you want me to answer the next one.
Oh, okay. I saw a good one. It says, what are your guys' future goals?
Be awesome parents.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't get baby fever.
You haven't lately.
Ever. But he sent me this TikTok the other day and it was like this cute little boy and he's like, babe, I feel like our son's going to look like this. Yeah. He had like light brown hair, tan skin and like brownish eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like we already have our boy names picked out, which Lord willing we get boys. They're fire. So I'm starting to get a little
tell
baby
him what
fever.
you texted me back. To add context, guys, if Janine looked at me right now and was like, let's try to have a baby, I'd be like, bet, let's go. Of course, I'm cool with waiting. Like we should probably wait a little while because be married longer.
Yeah.
All the things. But she texted me back and she was like, "Okay, let's do it." And I was like, I literally didn't even respond because I knew. I knew once I was like, "Okay, bet." You would have been like, "Nah."
You knew I was just being emotional.
Yeah, you were being emotional. I think we're getting closer to because we want 3.
We want to at least be married a year and then we'll reevaluate.
I'll say this to preface. I have to say this every time. We pray that the Lord allows us to have 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to give that to him. I think it's fine to go, we want 3, we want 2 boys, 1 girl. We hold that loosely.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm pumped to be a dad. The reality is like, you have time, but we do need to probably, get going quicker, eventually.
Yeah, I think that is one of our goals, though, is we want to be awesome parents.
We want to be young, too.
I want to be somewhat young. I want to get the house solved a little bit more, like a little bit more figured out.
We got a baby-proof backyard now.
We got to figure out, we do, which is fire.
Yeah.
I think another goal for me is I don't know if I've announced this, but I am writing a devotional next and I'm super, super, super excited. I think that'll be coming out next year. So another goal of mine is to write an amazing, hopefully anointed, God-ordained devotional for you guys. What are some of your goals, baby? Can we talk about one of your goals?
No, we can't.
Yeah, we can't.
I got 2 goals, guys. I get a lot of questions. What does Kaleb do? What does he? I'm more private about the things I'm working towards. I think because you've been so public for so long. And I think for me, it's like difficult because every goal that you talk about, people have questions upon that goal. Mm-hmm. And I'm still figuring out a couple things. And so there's like 2 specific things I think I've talked about on our Patreon. A couple years ago, a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, I went back to finish my degree. Mm-hmm. I've done that while we work together, and we have a lot of. It's like so much bigger than just social media. Mm-hmm. There's with the podcast, and then your social media, and then the business sides of things. There's a lot of things that we have to work on and manage, and so we do that. We do that together. But I also am finishing my degree, and so the prayer is that I will be done. I'm getting closer. Hopefully I'll be done by the end of this summer.
He's been grinding away, y'all.
Or early fall. It's like an accelerated program. It's pretty cool. I decided to go back to finish my degree, ultimately to be able to do something else with that degree, God willing. And so it's gonna be a journey. But that's kind of an update on me. But I do know even when I talk about that, it just like builds more questions upon. Mm-hmm. So I'll leave it at that. But I'm super excited, and I feel like it's something that God is leading me towards. Mm-hmm. And it also gives me something outside the lens of social media where I like it, and I'd love doing different things with you.
Totally.
It's definitely been cool to like have something outside of it all.
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah. I'm super proud of him as well. He's been grinding so hard, you guys. Usually when you just see me filming stuff on my Instagram and he's not around, because he's been sitting for hours doing school. And so I've been really proud of him. Yeah. We do have other goals. I don't think we'll announce every single one, but we definitely want to do a live podcast show, which I know you guys asked us. We're still trying to figure that out. We kind of tabled that for a bit.
I want to run another marathon.
Another marathon.
3 hours, 45 minutes will be my goal.
Yes, I want to do another half for sure. And we definitely have some more faith and fitness events coming. So we're going to be doing one in Austin that we're just trying to figure out timing because it's going to be so hot outside. We're trying to figure out that. But I'd say those are some goals. So
it's good.
Let's go to the next question.
Okay, this is good. How has it been living with the opposite sex, and what has been the adjustments you have gone through?
Oh, boy.
It's different.
I can speak for you on one of mine.
Don't be mean.
No, it's not bad.
Okay.
No, I'm saying like I'll speak on your behalf for me. Okay. Like the other day, my sink keeps getting clogged. And he's like, what are you putting down this sink? And like we opened up the drain. It was like hair, makeup products, gunk, face wash. He's like, oh. So he has to be like handyman now and deal with my makeup and hair.
Women, y'all are good at like creating projects. You'll look at something that really doesn't need to be fixed or like doesn't need to be messed with. You'll go, I think we could move that corner chair in that room, but we have to then move the picture frame on the other side, which requires you to take the picture frame off. And we're actually going to use different nails this time. So you might need to go to Home Depot to get the nails. But while you're at Home Depot, make sure to, can you exchange my Amazon package while you're out? And then while you exchange the Amazon package, will you pick me up a coffee? And then while you're at the coffee restaurant, will you go get the groceries?
That's
so I say that to say living with a woman is way better than living with the bros. But the bros don't have as much, I didn't have to become like this like
handyman.
But it's been good for me.
Yeah.
It has been good for me. But it's so funny because I am doing a lot of school day to day. It's so hard doing school at home.
Yeah.
Because you will ask me to do something once every 15 minutes. I'm always
trying to do some home project. I'm like, we need to clean this, organize it. Like I am very type A when it comes to the house. It has to be clean. So I think something with you is like you lived with the bros before. I've been to y'all's old apartment. It was not nearly.
It wasn't dirty.
It just wasn't. It's not the standard that I have for like a girl's home. Like I have my pillows and my candles and my flowers and my decor. So like I expect a certain standard and you weren't used to that.
I'll say this. Cleanliness. I don't think you're talking about that. I think you're talking about like an aesthetic that makes me have to.
Well, men will never get that.
The aesthetic takes up so much time. Well, what are some good things though?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I have my best friend here every single day. It's so fun. Like I literally bother you all the time.
We joke around 24/7.
All the time. We talk in baby voices.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh, we do.
I do not.
Don't cover it.
I do not talk in a baby voice.
You don't want your bros to see? No, I will say the bros are here a lot.
They are
so
here.
that's something I had to, it was just me and girls all the time.
Our guy friends are here all the time.
He has his guy friends over watching every Mavericks game, every football game. They came last night to golf in the backyard. Like the bros are here. I ended up going to bed early last night because I was like, guys, you guys have fun. I'm going to bed. I've just learned to let the bros be.
I love it. I love that our house is the safe heaven for all my single guys here in Dallas.
Oh, all the single guys come over.
The therapy that they need. See, my guy friends need therapy. The girls are hard on them out here.
Girls, what you doing?
Girls in Dallas need to go away.
No, I think guys in Dallas do too. I think both.
I hate seeing my young pups just getting their hearts broke.
No, they're just so down bad. And they get trampled.
They don't get trampled. I think that the modern day dating is just not good for Christian men.
For anybody in that matter, to be honest.
This question's personal.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
No, scared.
What was it like being intimate for the very first time? Were you nervous?
I'm nervous now. No, I was not nervous.
You weren't nervous?
Mama was ready.
Mama was ready?
Mama was like, woo!
That's crazy. You can't say that.
I can.
You called yourself mama?
Yeah, I was ready. I had waited so long.
Same.
And we waited for that night. We were excited.
I waited a quarter century.
I wasn't nervous for some reason. Because it was like... It was fun. We knew each other.
But that's not everyone's story.
No, it's not, but that's our story.
Yeah, we were blessed. It was smooth. It was comfortable. You made me feel safe. Mm-hmm. I made you feel safe.
We instantly felt like so like close. Like we felt one. We felt like, wow.
I think because we waited, we waited completely, and that made it so much. The anticipation was awesome. And we're just being vulnerable and honest because we don't want this also to say ours was amazing if maybe yours wasn't or it won't be. I don't want to set the standard of that expectation. It doesn't mean it hasn't been challenging at times. Mm-hmm. Your body, it changes. You have good weeks, you have bad weeks. And so it's not always perfect. But for us, I
think our first experience was luckily pretty good.
Pretty good.
And I prayed over it. I prayed over that night so much that it wouldn't be weird or there wouldn't be any flukes.
Are we allowed to talk about this?
Yeah. You're not giving any details.
Yeah.
This is personal.
This is very personal.
And we are choosing to let you guys in on this.
Yeah.
But
I think it needs to be again, we talked about this in the beginning part of the podcast. So many people talk about the negative sides and how hard it is and this and that. And it's like, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's not as difficult. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to ever face challenges when you are pregnant or we have kids. And so, and this is also the pod where I think when we go through those challenging moments, like we'll talk about.
Totally. And I just want to encourage you guys, like if you are dating, you're engaged, whatever, you're single, whatever, like I just want to encourage you guys, pray over your future sex life now and also wait till marriage. It is genuinely so worth it. And it was totally worth it for us.
Yeah.
And like getting to that wedding night and getting to be like, wow, we waited for this was the best feeling ever.
We also did a lot of prep of like premarital, having those conversations before we like read this book like a day before.
It's literally called Sheet Music and it's like understanding.
Do not read that book unless you were like 2 days out.
Literally.
Like
I'm being for real.
And when you read this book, make sure that you have someone
or you're on opposite sides of the couch.
You're not doing it in a vulnerable place because you will awaken a beast. We're going to get in trouble for this podcast.
Okay, next question.
I already know.
The next question is people were wondering about church cults and the 7M documentary.
There's been a lot of, I feel like, documentaries lately on Netflix about church cults. And and I think you're seeing a correlation to different churches that you see nowadays and how like leadership style is and all that stuff. But the specific 7M was like the dancers. Mm-hmm. It was like a dancer documentary on Netflix, if you guys don't know. And I guess this guy got all these dancers to sign to his agency, but it's also kind of a church and it's like a cult kind of.
And they're not allowed to say anything because they have like NDAs.
Yeah.
And he pulled everybody away from their families.
You know what's crazy?
What?
When I went to Hillsong College, I signed an NDA.
Are you allowed to say that?
I think so. I think you can say you signed an NDA.
You just can't say.
Yeah.
Is there something that you can't share?
Nothing happened that like was crazy. I don't know. I don't really know.
You should look at that NDA and see what you can and can't say.
If Hillsong sues me for saying that, then that'd be kind of funny. I don't think they will.
Oh my God.
I think I could talk about how they did make me sign an NDA.
But I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I know.
That you had to sign an NDA.
Yeah.
Going to a school in a church.
I think because there was a lot of, the way they phrased it was like there was a lot of like proprietary, you know, like you were listening to songs all the time that that hadn't been released yet. And so it's like, I guess they were like covering their basis, or like maybe they didn't want a teacher to be held liable for everything that they say, or like if you were a media person, maybe that, you know, the church, the way they would say like the church had a big target on their back. So they didn't want anyone just enrolling into the school and then filming the whole school and having like an inside hit job on the school. So it was like for them, I get the protection,
Interesting.
But yeah, it definitely, the college was definitely it was cool. I met a lot of great people, and it wasn't as bad as what people made it out to be, but there were some culty things. There were some weird things going on.
Like?
Signing
an NDA is interesting, but
just the culture, the hierarchy of like leadership, and like the higher you were up, the more like spiritual, or like people always wanted like them to prophesy over them, or you just saw there was a lot of green room type, you know, culture going on where the famous people got special treatment, and then but at the same time like you were working long hours and you weren't getting paid for anything. So you would work a conference, but you were in college, but you were required to work these conferences, and you were required to serve a certain amount of time in the church, which I understand to a certain extent. But I also remember waking up at like 5 a.m. certain days, and it was kind of always told to you that you know, God's going to bless you more. And like, this is, especially in the college, you had what was called first year, first semester, second year, third semester. And then you had like the people who were in their degree program. And so you had all these like levels, and it was like, you know, if you went in going, oh, I'm just going to be here 1 year, they would always get you to like stay longer. And so it was interesting. Like I would say my experience was interesting. It affected me a lot. It was all I knew for a while, because I also went to the New York City Hillsong. And so I was one of the people that didn't see anything crazy, but I definitely like saw some things that weren't like wrong necessarily, but just like, I feel like I'm treading carefully, because there were some amazing, God-fearing, amazing worship leaders and pastors and people who genuinely cared about people in there. But I think that from the top, the leadership downwards just created this culture of just like hype, Pentecostal, charismatic culture, where I think Ruslan says it. If you don't know who Ruslan is, check him out. He's great. Awesome. He says like more pastors just need to start a podcast. And it's just true, because I think what was interesting for me is I think you have some of these very charismatic churches that will look at someone who's very good looking, who can speak, and they go, you need to be a speaker. You need to be, and then they end up being a pastor. And I think you saw a lot of that at Hillsong, where you would be giving the floor to somebody who don't really know what it means to be a pastor, but then you're giving them thousands of followers. And it's like being a pastor is showing up to hospitals. It's shepherding. It's like so much deeper than just like posting highlight reels on Instagram. And so I'll say that. I'll leave it at that. I do think it's awesome to see Carl Lentz and his wife. They're still married. It looks like they've reconciled. I don't know him personally. I wish them all the best. I'm not one of those haters of these pastors. We love our pastors here. The Shoreline here in Dallas is an amazing church. Pastor Earl and Onika, they are some of the top-notch people. Pastor Earl actually married us. And so when I speak for this, that doesn't mean I'm speaking for, because every experience is different. But it was hard for me not to group them all together. So
period.
I'll say that.
I'll just say my quick thoughts, and thanks, babe, for sharing, because I know that can be a little tough.
It's been hard. It's been hard.
We talk about that a lot offline, And, I think church hurt is real. And I think people can watch these documentaries and they could be like, oh, I knew it. All Christians are like this. All churches like this. And you can kind of generalize a group of people based off of one documentary. And I hope people don't do that. But I do think that a lot of people think that is what Christianity is like. And it's just not true. And I mean, if you listen to the teacher in that documentary, he's clearly a false prophet.
Yeah.
Like he's clearly making all the teachings about him and calling himself a God. And if you know the Bible, you're able to discern who is truly seeking God and who's seeking just their own glory. So you got to be really careful. So that guy's clearly not after the Lord. I think he's just after like getting fame himself. So
yeah, kind of. There's some people who they have charisma and you get fooled. But here's the thing, and I think we talk about this too. You and I aren't pastors. You do have a platform. I think it just raises like I think if anything, it like makes me know how serious this is. How serious it is that you and I stay above reproach, that we honor our marriage, and that we
preach what is biblical and true and not just what sounds good.
But also, you have influence, right?
Yeah.
If you go to church and someone's like, Janine, we want you to be a pastor, you're not just going to say yes so you can get a platform or so you can start teaching. You're going to look at that long and hard and go, okay, what does it mean? Being a pastor is not about you. Mm-hmm. And I think there's too many people who go, this is about me.
You're like, this is so fun. My name is on the building or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's definitely for sure. So
I think you're seeing a lot of home churches now. I think you're seeing a lot of people kind of stray away from just this like
traditional,
just this, hype beast where it's not even the gospel anymore. Yeah. It's all about wealth, prosperity, and gain. And I think people are starting to see through that now.
I agree. Okay. Next question. Okay. What do you say when someone says, God told me we need to break up? It's God that told me. Also, y'all don't mind my skin. It's flaking. I got a facial.
What do I say to that? I feel like we've asked that question a lot.
But do you think that God told someone to break up with somebody?
Maybe.
I don't totally doubt it.
I think that if it's not true and you're a guy or you're a girl and deep down, God, like you want to break up with them. It's not even just God. It's just that you just don't like the person anymore.
You just need an excuse.
Save them the insecurity to go, God, why wasn't I enough? Like, why were
you against me, God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So save a person that.
Yeah, I think it can be a cop-out. I do think, if you're living in sin or maybe this is genuinely not the best relationship and maybe you're not pushing this person towards Christ and they're realizing that, then they could be like, hey, I don't think this is God's best. But for them to say, God told me, which I do believe God could tell somebody that. I really, really do. But again, kind of what Kaleb was saying, like if it's just not from God, or if the person just doesn't want to be with you, then I don't think it's fair to use that as an excuse.
I saw a good question in there.
What was it?
It's like, how do we handle conflict?
Funny.
I think that's it's a good question. We're definitely not the best at it.
We're still growing in conflict, I would say.
Yeah. I think that it's not that they're like even crazy moments, but it's more like I will withdraw or give you the silent treatment, or like we'll both just be petty.
Yeah.
And like something that's so small, by the way we handle the situation, can accidentally blow up into like a deeper, it's never usually about what we're arguing about. It's always a deeper root of like what we're actually mad about. But I think the biggest thing is just acknowledging the fact that like you're never going to be perfect at conflict, but you need to be always striving to like making that a healthier, when that time comes where you are arguing.
Yeah.
Trying to just like not letting it blow out of proportion.
I agree. I'm sorry for yawning, y'all. I woke up at 6 a.m. today, so it's hitting me. I would also say you will emulate what you saw in your parents' marriage. So the way that your parents fought, or the things like that you saw in your parents, I see in me, I see in you. I've seen your family, I've seen mine. I'm like, oh shoot. So I think that's something that we're very aware of, like especially as newlyweds. Like, what did I repeat from my parents? And we try to catch that. Because I don't know if I liked the way my parents argued, and I don't really totally want to repeat that. And so I would say that it kind of came from that as well. Okay, next question. Should I let my man know what ring I want? What do you think?
It's up to you. Maybe it's going to be on your finger for the rest of your life. So like maybe give him like a little
hinty hint.
A hint of like what you want a little bit. But at the same time, Listen, it's up to him. It's up to his budget. It's up to what he wants to spend on it. If he asks, like, hey, babe, I want to know, then give it to him. But I think that I think you should get something that you want, but I also think that you should be respectful.
Well, I think you're talking specifically about size. I think when it comes to the design, gold, silver, the shape, the cut,
Yeah.
absolutely. Know what you want, try rings on, make sure you love it. It's on your finger, hopefully for forever. And leave the size of the diamond up to his budget. Hopefully, you can get what you want. But if not, that's okay too. And I think, personally for me, I told you what I wanted, but I never told you the size. And I was just like, hey, do what you can. So I think, know what you want. Send some ideas. Get a general idea because men aren't really going to know. There's so many options out there. And so I think, have an idea and make sure you like it. It's going to be on your finger forever. So I think you should. And if you want to be surprised, then I think be okay if he gets you something that you weren't expecting. So I think it's up to you. But I would say yes, if you are picky.
I still love your ring.
I love my ring. I stare at it every single day still. I need to clean it right now, but I love my ring. Thanks,
It's
baby.
amazing.
What are your thoughts on men getting pedicures?
You do you, boo.
I think sometimes men need to get them.
Guys, if you're above getting groomed, you got some toxic masculinity.
Dude, some men have some scraggly feet out there.
I need a pedicure right now.
They have like curly little toe hairs and their like nails are like 6 feet
Ew,
long. And I'm like,
stop.
and there's like gunk underneath them.
Ew, no.
And they're like, massage my feet, babe. And then you're like, I want
Preface,
to touch that thing
my
with a
feet
10-foot pole.
My feet are good.
Your feet are great.
For running a marathon too.
I'm impressed. Yeah, Caleb doesn't really need pedicures. Every now and then I do have you trim your toenails.
This is gross.
But they asked the question.
That's true, they did.
Give the people what they want.
They don't want my feet.
They don't want yours, but they are wondering about their man's.
Okay.
I think men should get pedicures every now and then, if their feet are disgusting. Or maybe you could do it for him.
So it's not a sin.
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
It's not vanity.
It's not vanity.
Good.
Okay, what are your opinions about spiritual gifts, babe? Speaking in tongues, prophecy.
It's a loaded nacho. So yeah, I believe in spiritual gifts, of course. Do I think it gets out of control and it gets manipulated and it gets used to get so people can get what they want? Yes and yes and yes and yes. I've seen it so much. I grew up in it. I saw my dad get taken advantage of,
I saw my parents too.
If you give, you shall receive. And if you give me your Rolex, blah, 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 blah.
Or like they prophesy like, I see you giving me tens and thousands of dollars. And you're like, I bet you do.
Or it's like Fox News and it's like, a commercial. Give $79 to XYZ and you will see your life get, you will prosper your business. If
and
you
give
like, a subscription of $9.99 a month and you will get a free gold coin.
And you're like, where's the money really going?
They always give you the gold coin.
What's up with the gold coin? I bet it has like a no value really.
It's like, I feel like it's like, call this number 719 to get your American plastered gold coin. And if it will bless your life. It's like always something like that.
Okay, but go back to the question.
Okay.
Or do you want me to go to it? I want to read some scripture around it really fast. Okay. So first of all, if you go to 1 Corinthians, you can read more about these. If you don't know what they are, there's a lot of spiritual gifts. But he says that now concerning spiritual gifts, brothers, I do not want you to be ununiformed.
What about sisters?
Sisters too. Sisters are included. This is 1 Corinthians 12. Now there are a variety of gifts, but the same Spirit. So you gotta read the scripture. There are varieties of service, but the same Lord, and there are varieties of activities, but it is the same God. So it is God. First of all, let me just say, it is God who empowers people, not yourself. Because so many people want to be like, I have this divine gift from the universe. And you're like, is it from God? Because if it ain't from God, I don't know if you want it.
I have a story.
Yes.
I was at Hillsong College, and I had this guy come up to me, and he goes, what number am I thinking of?
Oh, my gosh.
And you're around all these spiritual, charismatic people. So I was like, and I'm like 20. I'm young still.
Hello, baby.
And I'm like 63. And he goes, no, I'm not lying. He goes, no, that's not it. He goes, dang, I was just checking. I'm not joking. And he was like, I wanted to see if you had the gift of prophecy.
Oh my, that's such a weird way to test that.
And then I had another guy go, oh, you don't speak in tongues? And he goes, let's go baptize you real quick in the bathtub. And he goes, that's how I got it. And I'm not discounting that maybe, but I just feel like there's an overemphasis on spiritual gifts when there's not enough emphasis on
salvation
and like making disciples and just being a Jesus follower and loving people and loving your neighbor and just like walking into what God has for you.
Yeah. And I think that's where it gets a little weird when you see people do that and you're like, wait, what? But I know that I know gifts are possible. They are real. Not everyone has them.
What's yours?
I think for me, it's just the gift of tongues right now in hospitality. I think yours is discernment.
Yeah.
And do you speak in tongues?
No.
Okay.
We've never really talked about that.
What?
Do you speak in tongues? I maybe have heard it once.
Well, because you're not supposed to.
Okay.
Because it's supposed to be your prayer language to the Lord
so
yourself.
you don't believe, do you believe in tongues? Like, can you like preach it or like sing?
No, I don't think you're supposed to. I think because it says the tongues are for you and God, and it's the mysteries that God understands from your mouth. Unless there is an interpreter there to interpret your tongues. And if you are to do it, it's supposed to edify the church. It's not supposed to just be a show. And I think that's where people can get it wrong. So do I think that if someone does it completely from the pulpit, is it completely wrong? No. But I don't think that's 100% biblical.
Am I wrong to say it freaks me out?
No, but I don't think it should. But I get it. It's a foreign language, so you're kind of like, what is happening?
It only freaks me out. It's just because, again, I grew up in a Assembly of God church where it was just so abused.
Yeah.
So abused. I didn't see anyone doing it in a correct way where it's kind of distorted my perception of it. I also started going to more of a church who really had a different take on it from a theological standpoint. Jonathan Pokluda, actually.
Right.
I would hear kind of what he had to say about it. And I kind of agree with him, but what I will say is I'm not black and white about it.
Yeah, neither am I.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be like, if you do it from this, God's mad at you. I don't know. But I do know that it is really supposed to be between you and God.
Yeah, I agree.
But there's gifts of healing. There's gifts of prophecy, to the ability to distinguish spirits, the gift of various tongues, the gift of interpretation of tongues. There's many different gifts. So I think that it can be abused. I think it can happen, but I definitely think if you read 1 Corinthians 12 and 13, you'll be able to see the way that God aligned it. It is always to hopefully edify the body of Christ. And I don't know. I think they can be abused, but not everything can be. Not everything is.
It's like this. Vegetables can be abused.
What?
You know, vegetables are good for you.
Vegetables.
But if you eat a ton of them, it's not good for you. Hey, I'm trying to make that make sense. It's
Baby, vegetables are always good for you.
Not if you eat too much.
Since when?
Okay, I see what I was going with that. I'm saying that like anything that's good can be used for bad.
Okay, how are vegetables used for bad? I love vegetables. They're great.
I don't know, like throwing tomatoes at someone.
Okay.
You know, it was meant for good, but now we're throwing tomatoes at people.
Okay, baby, that's not being digested. Okay. My skin's
so pretty. Also, you're pretty, and thank you for having me on the podcast. I feel like this podcast I've like complained or like I've been like cynical, so I apologize if I have. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so.
I'll have random moments mid podcast where I'll get super in my head. Like, am I interrupting too much?
Oh, same every single time.
Yeah.
But I think it's hard because like we're just hanging out with each other. We're having fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone did wonder though, not a question, but a pod idea. You, Caleb, Maddie, and Grant. Fun fact.
Next week.
It's coming very, very soon. Okay. Someone wants to know this. How to pick between two very different guys. A stable, steady, serious, or a fun extrovert?
Steady. I feel like I'm a blend of both.
Yes, but you're definitely more fun extrovert. Here's my thing is, don't only go for like the loudest guy in the room, the party guy. Like if he is going to be the fun extrovert, can he at least have serious moments and serious conversations and ask good questions? Like he's not always having fun.
I'm pretty introverted though, at times.
Yeah, at times, but you're still pretty extroverted. Yeah. I would say I'm more extroverted than you.
I'm more like picky on who is around me.
But what do you say for this girl?
What to pick?
I think it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I think it's your preference.
What do you like?
What do you like? What do you want to have? What do you want to marry? What do you want to be around every single day? And is his character good? I think that's what matters most.
Here's what I'll key in on. You said steady. Steady is the thing that you need as a characteristic in any man that you're with. If you're not with a man who is steady, who is consistent with his feelings to you, his feelings for his family, job, etc., like he needs to be a man who is marked by consistency. His life needs to be consistent in the way that he treats you. And so if this extroverted isn't steady, he's going to be wavering, and you don't want a wavering person in your life, because that's just like, that's a gift that a man can give you, is just this consistency.
And safety.
Yeah. So
I think that is very true. And yeah, you want steadiness. Absolutely. If you're a busy girl or a guy like me, and sometimes you just don't have time to cook a meal throughout the day, or maybe you come home from work and you're exhausted and you just want something quick for your meal, that is where HelloFresh comes in. And I'm super excited to be working with them, because I think this is an amazing company with an amazing deal that I have to offer with you guys. So if you don't know what HelloFresh is, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. So you can skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that is why it's America's #1 meal kit. So you can ditch the meal planning woes and dive into HelloFresh's biggest menu yet, with over 50 recipes and even more market items to choose from every single week. So again, if you are busy, or maybe you're tired, or you just don't like cooking that much, try cutting down on the time spent in the kitchen so you can get back to enjoying the summer sunshine thanks to HelloFresh's quick and easy recipes. Every week's menu features options that are ready in literally just 20 minutes or less. That's even quicker than delivery. So Kaleb and I started using HelloFresh. We do love cooking together, but we are both kind of lazy when it comes to cooking. We don't try a lot of new recipes. And I really do like HelloFresh because it is easy and delicious, and something we can do together. So if you guys want to check this out, go to HelloFresh.com/happyapps for free appetizers for life. One appetizer item per box while subscriptions are active. That is free appetizers for life at HelloFresh.com/happyapps. Okay, they want to know, what was Jay's red flag in dating? Y'all, come on.
Janine's red flag.
Oh no. I know one of mine.
I know. Janine, I had never dated someone in the past. You know, if you ever dated somebody and they would say, hey, I need a few days to think about the relationship, they were never really thinking it. They always had their mind made up of like what they wanted. They were just trying to let you off easy. And so you would do that early on, where you would like, I need 4 days to like fast and pray. But you were actually fasting and praying.
I was actually doing it.
But at the time, I didn't believe you. I just thought you were trying to
like buy time
and softly break up with me. So every time at the end of the 4 days, you would always end up being like, no, I want to be with you. And I'd be like, really?
Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Before you say every time, it happened once.
Twice.
No, it didn't. Not for 4 days.
Twice.
One.
You broke the 4-day fast a couple times.
No, we did one fast and I broke it. It was supposed to be 5 days and we did 4. And that was the only time.
No. We did 2 days in the very beginning. We were like, hey, I need a couple of days to think about it. Then you broke it. And then you were like, okay, now I actually need to.
Well, because I heard from the Lord.
Yeah.
And then I broke it. And then the 4th time again, I heard from the Lord and I broke it again.
I'm just saying that like, that wasn't your red flag. But usually speaking, that would be a red flag if she says, I need time to think about it.
Oh, yeah. That
just
makes
from
sense.
Like past experiences.
Okay.
You know.
What do I say about yours?
I got more.
We don't have time for that. Sorry.
Hey, I got one more. Let's think here.
I have one for you, I'm sure.
Okay, go.
Okay, well, I have to think about it.
I was a green flag and you know it.
No, he was probably my fear.
Okay.
I think your red flag was you jumped around a little too much. I was worried that you wanted to move every like 3 months. Because what I had heard, you were like, you moved from Australia to New York to Dallas to Fort Worth to this to that. And when I met you, you were about to move to Orlando. That to me was concerning. And I remember going to JP and JP was like, does he have any consistency? Well, that was the one thing.
I was 23 and I didn't go the traditional college route. And so my like 5-year plan was just to travel and work different jobs. I was able to curate a resume, a good resume, where I was able to get different jobs. And to be honest with you, like the reason why I moved around so much was because I was single and I just kept getting different opportunities.
Yeah.
And I would work a job and it would lead to a different opportunity. And I also was young and I was trying to do a lot of different things. And I think that's where you saw it. Like it really wasn't that big of a deal because now you see the consistency behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just outed each other. Okay. Do you think it's healthy when dating to see your boyfriend every single day?
You think it's okay to see each other every day? I would say there needs to be a little bit of like where you have a day or two where like you miss each other.
Yeah.
You need to know how to not be codependent because you go to work. You know, we go to work. We have days where we don't see each other till the end of the day. We work together.
The day?
We work together. The day?
You said the day.
The day? Yeah, I would say if you're codependent, you need some days to like have some time. You just don't want to get married and go, we have no friends.
Right.
You know, because we're married, we have so many friends and people come over all the time.
We didn't lose our friends in dating. And I think that's important is like, I personally
you lose
think
some friends, but not.
You do, but you should still have a routine of like, I'm going with my girls, you're going with your guys, bye. Or I need a day to myself. Or I do think that seeing each other every single day too makes boundaries complicated. So I would say spend a day by yourself. Spend a day with your parents, with your family. Don't spend every single waking moment because you're not married yet. And I think you can, like Kaleb was saying, you can become a little codependent.
If you're bringing your boy to girls' night out,
they hate you.
Maybe not girls' night out because girls' night out can be a red flag. Girls' night out can be a red flag.
Of what?
Y'all be doing crazy things.
Like bringing your boyfriend?
No, I just know that like some guys, their girlfriends would have girls' night out and they would just go crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I was saying is like, if I'm having a guys' night and I go, hey guys, can I bring my girlfriend? It's like, we all know the guy who does that. I would steer away from that. Like, go be with your bros.
Go be with your bros or your girls.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a fun question. And I like this question because we haven't really talked about our wedding in a really long time. What was one non-negotiable you wanted at your wedding? And then I also want to talk about one thing that went wrong that we never talked about.
A non-negotiable at our wedding was we wanted to
enjoy our cocktail hour.
Yeah, we wanted to go to our cocktail hour. So we wanted to take as many photos before. So after our wedding, we took a few photos and then we enjoyed our wedding.
Yeah.
Like I did not want to sit for an hour after our wedding and take photos for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I did not want to do that.
I didn't either.
I've been a part of so many weddings where you just took so many photos after, which we don't maybe have as many photos. I think if you spend half your wedding taking photos, you're going to look back and go, man, I had a ton of photos, but we didn't actually enjoy our wedding. And also I would say, make sure you get good photographers and videographers. We had the absolute best.
They were great.
And we gave them our vision and they freaking crushed it. Jenna Marie Co. and then Cinders Film Co. did our wedding. We should actually drop it in the description.
So on my YouTube channel, go check it out.
Yeah.
I think another thing that was non-negotiable, we did not want those arranged cheesy line dances.
Slide to the left.
We did not want cha-cha slide.
Criss
We did not want, what else? Anything.
The Cupid shuffle.
I can't.
Dougie.
We did not want anything that felt cheesy. Forced.
No manufactured dancing.
Exactly. We were like, absolutely cut it. I do think there's two things that kind of went wrong and we never talked about.
Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
It doesn't make anyone look bad?
No, I think it was just in general, things go wrong at your wedding. It's just inevitably things are going to go wrong at your wedding. And I never talked about this. Number one, our seating chart got messed up. And I don't know whose fault it was because I thought I did it. I think I maybe didn't send it over to the wedding planner. It's not her fault either. Something happened in the line of miscommunication. And midway through the wedding, cocktail hours rolling around. We're done taking pictures. We're having fun. I walk inside. One of my friends walks up to me and she's like, Janine? And I'm like, yes. And she goes, I don't know where I'm sitting. And I was like, wait, why? And she's like, none of the single people's names were on the seating chart. And I was like, I freaked out.
It was your fault.
I don't know if I remember filling it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I didn't put it on an Excel spreadsheet. I remember doing the alphabetical
order. Maybe it was my
order.
fault.
I don't know, but my wedding planner was like, you didn't send it over. And I was like, I could have sworn I did. So I don't know what happened. I actually never went back and checked.
It definitely wasn't her fault.
She would have double checked that.
Yeah.
But I remember going up to the seating chart and being like, this looks a little short. They only had the couples on there.
So the single people didn't know where they were sitting.
So the single people, I basically was like, hey, just sit with whom you would normally sit with. And they did. They all figured it out. But I remember being like, I don't know what to tell you guys. I can't really solve this. Go have fun. And then they did. So that was another thing. One other thing that I never really talked about was the wedding cake. That wasn't really my favorite. Not the taste, the aesthetic. And I even had people roast me for it, but it's because
we didn't put much emphasis.
We didn't put any effort. I thought it was going to be a certain way. I sent inspo. I sent pictures. It was not what I expected. It tasted amazing. Mm-hmm. But when I got there and I saw it, I was like, oh, it was just not what I expected. But then again, I was like, no one remembers the cake. So it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But those are the two things I remember being like, probably could have changed that.
I wish we could have a wedding once every year. That was so fun.
So fun.
That was so fun.
We talk about our wedding all the time.
All the time.
I want to relive it once more.
Sad.
Okay, you guys, that was today's episode. Sometimes we want to just sit down and hang out with you guys.
I was kind of all over the place. I think we've talked about this. I would say like once every 2-ish months.
Yeah.
We want to sit down and have a catch up and bring you guys into like what's going on.
Yeah.
You talk about this a lot, and I'll let you speak into it, where you don't want to just like come in here and like preach to people and like tell them what to do without them knowing like who you are.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that is what, we do a lot of topical podcasts on here. And sometimes we want to just have a conversation and sit down and chit chat with you guys. And so if you guys are interested, we have way more conversations on our Patreon where we really do just chit chat and sit down for basically an hour and a half on each episode. We do 2 extra episodes a month.
And if you join, you get access to all the rest we've done.
Yeah.
I think we've done like 10 or so pods.
Yeah, we've had a couple already on there. So this was fun. And so thank you guys for hanging out with us. This was all over the place, but that's because it was a Q&A.
Did you get something out of it? What'd you learn?
I learned that you and I can shoot the sheesh.
We could talk a lot.
We can.
I'm kind of sad it's over. Does this have to be over?
I have to go to Pilates.
You have to go to Pilates.
Also, I got a facial today or 2 days ago.
That's your red flag.
No, what
Pilates.
do you mean? What? Every girl does Pilates now.
Yeah.
But I got a facial 2 days ago and my face is flaking off, so please don't zoom in. It feels so tight and like painful. So I need to like get my makeup off.
You look great.
Thank you. We're actually hosting people at our house tonight. I'm really excited.
Having a party.
I'm a little get together to show everybody our backyard. And so if you guys want to check, our backyard makeover reveal is already up. Also, just to let you guys know, we did announce the book giveaway winners on the last Nick Bear episode. Listen to that episode as well. If you need motivation, if you need inspiration, that episode will get you fired up. And we love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you guys learned something and enjoy just watching us.
I did want to say, I had it in my brain.
I'm so sorry. Do you want to take some time to listen or figure that out?
No, I can say on the next pod. That's going to really bother me. I had something I
You're
wanted
really
to say.
handsome.
Thank you.
Your shirt makes your eyes pop. You know, I just realized you were in a green hat, green shirt, green phone. My guy's a green guy.
I am a green guy.
You're a gringy.
My
mom will call you a gringo.
What does that mean?
It's like white boy.
That's hilarious. That's so
My mom
funny.
doesn't really call you that, though.
Are you more German or Guatemalan?
Wow, you opened up a can of worms on the podcast. I'm in an identity crisis. I don't know. No, not really.
Which one do you lean in? Like, what do you think?
Are you
50-50?
That's a whole...
Are you 50-50 down the middle?
Of what?
Guatemalan and German?
Like actually ethnicity-wise?
Yeah.
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 Because my parents are from those countries.
No, I know that, but I'm saying, is your mom, like, does she have like a percentage somewhere else where it's like
Spain,
more German? Like your dad's like...
My dad is Dutch and Russian.
Like which one are you more? Or is it exactly 50-50?
No, if you look at my DNA test, it says I'm like 65, 70% European.
Oh, so you're more European.
But I don't look it at all.
So you're not half Guatemalan, half German.
I mean, my DNA tests, I don't know how accurate those things are, but my parents are from 2 different countries. Technically I'm 50-50. But my mom's parents immigrated from different European countries as well. Yeah. Like great grandparents.
I think it's so cool how much culture. That was one of the coolest things about marrying Janine was just like how much culture you brought into my life. And our family functions, like your mom being Guatemalan, your dad being from Germany. I feel like anytime I sit with them, it is just like the stories I get to listen to. And you just brought a huge dynamic to my life and opened my horizon to like culture and all these things. And it's so cool. It is so cool that my kids are going to be Guatemalan. I think that is the coolest thing ever. I can't wait.
Yeah, I want them to be trilingual, which maybe we'll see.
German. I'm excited for them to be German.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
But Guatemalan, like, I just think that's so...
One thing I will say, and then we'll close out. I'm sorry, we're rambling at this point. I think that should be another episode, is talking about what it was like growing up mixed race. And like
that's really good.
Yeah.
I want to dive into that with you.
There's a lot of things, and I honestly think it'd be helpful to like have a sibling in that. Because it was actually very interesting, and I sometimes feel really weird talking about it because I don't want anyone to feel like I'm like, woe is me. But like when you're first gen American, I think a lot of y'all can probably understand if you are first gen, it was difficult at times. I think we'll save that for another episode. But I'm glad that you appreciate the cultures because I've been with guys that didn't, and it was really hard. And I literally wrote on my list of like things I wanted in a husband, and I wrote that he would appreciate my culture and my background, and you did. So
which was funny to me when you were insecure about it at all.
Because I had so many people make me feel insecure about it.
Yeah. It shocked me because I was like, wait,
like I just remember dating guys, and I always knew that every single time, and I mean, this has been kind of proven. Whenever they would break up with me or I'd break up with them, they would instantly always go to the blonde hair, blue eyed girl. And nothing wrong with that if you look like that. But in my mind, I was like, oh, they don't want what I look like. They didn't want the brown hair, brown tan skin, brown eyes. Like they want the all-American girl. So it made me feel really insecure. I talked about that in my book. But now I don't think that at all.
I brag to people. I'm like, yeah, my wife's Guatemalan.
I love that. That's a prayer answered, y'all.
I think it's so sick.
That was literally on my list of things I wanted in a spouse.
When you speak Spanish randomly.
Ay, papi.
That's funny.
Te amo mucho, mi amor.
That is good. I can't roll my R's.
And no, he can't. We're trying to work on his R rolling.
Man. Why is this the best part of the podcast?
I don't know. Let's save it. Let's save this topic for another episode. I think
next episode?
Yeah, I think
what do you
so.
think?
I also really want to bring my parents on. I don't think my mom ever would, but my dad would be down, I think. My dad is a book of wisdom and knowledge and history. He can recall any date, any history. Yeah. He can speak like 5 languages. He's insane in the best way possible.
I think for his own protection, I don't know.
He's crazy.
He would say something. He'd get
a little unhinged.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Joachim.
Yeah.
999. Anyway, okay.
Love you.
Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you on another episode of Happy and Healthy. But until then, stay. Oh, what were you doing?
I was waiting for a kiss.
Stay happy and healthy.
Stay happy and healthy.
Bye. Bye, guys. Love you guys.